Hello, welcome to episode 10 of Virtual Strangers, our weekly virtual reality games focused talk show. This week I'm joined by Wes, Roots, and myself, Alex. You may notice someone's missing. Unfortunately, Justin has decided that he doesn't want to do the show due to time restrictions, so it's just going to be the three of us, and we are going to hopefully entertain you with his absence. So anyway, we'll get on with the show. First thing we'll talk about is a couple of games that, in fact, one game is coming out for PC next week, on the 4th. This is called Zed. It's being published by Cyan, who obviously we all know and do the Mist, the Raven, the Abduction games. Well, this has been published by them, but it's actually been made by a different company. I think it's Eager Games, and they are new. I can't see anything else that they've made before, but this is going to be an interesting one. It's a flat game that's got a VR mode, and it's apparently dealing with dementia, so it's going to be very story driven. There is going to be some puzzles, but from what I was reading, the puzzles are going to be very easy. I don't think they're not going to be like Myst or Abduction style hard puzzles. It's going to be more of a journey story type experience. Roots, are you? I know obviously we've reached out. We haven't managed to get a key for this, so we're looking at purchasing ourselves. Are you interested in it? Are you excited for this? Do you know anything about it?
Oh hell yeah. I'm excited because what you just said, the puzzles aren't, it's more of a journey, right?
Yeah.
Like the puzzles look fairly easy. I'm not saying that. Like I said last week, a lot of the puzzle games are beginning to feel like work for me, and then I don't feel like I want to go play them because it's work. And I love Myst. I love Abduction, even though that's one of the hardest puzzle games I've ever seen in my life. But this one looks so cool and beautiful. So I'm hoping the interactions. I mean, it looks a little basic as far as VR. Like you said, it's a mod, so you're probably just clicking buttons. But I'm even willing to do that. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one thing worth noticing, because obviously it's a flat game that's going to have a VR mode, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it. Whether it's going to be just like a gamepad game, and you're going to be in VR, or you're going to have hands. We've not really seen any footage of the VR side of this. Does that concern you, Wes?
Oh no, when given the option, I always 10 times out of 10 choose to have hands in VR. But with that said, a lot of my favorite games are gamepad games, like Resident Evil 7, The Persistence, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. These are all gamepad games, and I love them. And this game, visually, it looks very good. It looks like it has high production value. And from a story standpoint, it looks something akin to Transference or Nevermind, where you're going to be trying to piece together memories to solve a larger story. So, yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Keeping my fingers crossed that maybe this one shows up on Viport Infinity. But regardless, I'm sure I'm going to play it at some point.
Yeah, I think I'll pick it up. It's just going to be down to price and play how long. I don't expect this to be a particularly long game. I think it's going to be quite linear, very story driven. Pretty much like you said, Transference came to my mind when I saw it as well. I think it's going to play with your mind a little bit, and there's going to be moments where it's not going to be just as straightforward where you're just walking through a path. I think that things are going to keep changing up on you and stuff. So I'm interested in it. I have actually checked on Steam, and someone asked the devs outright what the price was going to be and playability, and they kind of skirted around it. Didn't give an answer. So I don't like that really. I'd rather the devs be honest about it. But I'll keep an eye on it, and hopefully next week we'll have some impressions on that one. Another game which is already out for the PSVR but is going to be released on the 4th for PC and VR is Trover Saves the Universe. So we did have a talk about this last week about whether we were going to get this on, because obviously Roots and Wes have both got PlayStation VRs. We've all decided now that we're going to get this on PC. So basically none of us have played it. There's nothing real to say on it other than we will have a review. We'll actually have a proper review on this next week, so keep an eye out for that. Wes, I think you have something. You found out some information about some DLC that they've mentioned in this one.
Yeah. There's definitely free DLC coming in the future for this. The devs have stated that they're going to continually add levels to this game as a way of supporting it instead of gradually decreasing the price over time. They're going to keep the price level where it is, but the game is going to gradually grow over time. So we're going to get more and more content for this game as it goes on.
Yeah, they said that well, from what I've read, I think it's about 5 hours to play through this, which I'm guessing is going to depend on how long you spend listening to the dialogue, because I know the dialogue goes for quite a while. So if you just kind of rush through it, you can probably get through it quicker than that. But yeah, we'll give you more information on that next week. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with this DLC, because it's an interesting approach. Rather than reducing the price, just keep putting more and more content in there. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Another game that released this week, which we did actually do a review of, which you can find on our channel, which is Freediver, Triton down. I'll just give you a quick summary of it, just in case you don't want to watch the review. But basically, it's a relatively short. It took about 50 minutes and about an hour to play through, but it is priced well. It's $8.99 or I think £6.50, something around that price. And we all loved it. It's got a really great intuitive control system where it's gesture control, so you actually kind of swimming through the water. I will say it's not a puzzle game. I've heard some people say it's a puzzle game. It's not a puzzle game. The most puzzle part of it is just trying to figure out where to go sometimes, but I wouldn't say it's not really difficult. In fact, you mentioned, Wes, about they give too much away, because sometimes when you go to the surface, this woman that you're playing tells you what you need to do sometimes. But if you want more information on that, I would check the review out. We've got a 25-minute in-depth review on that on the channel. We have actually got 2 keys to give away for this. And Wes, I believe you have information on how you can get a hold of one of those keys.
Yeah, you can. You'll find a link if you look in our description. There's a link to a Gleam giveaway. As long as you're a subscriber, you're eligible to enter the giveaway. There's different tasks that you can complete to get more entries into the contest. The contest starts today, Monday, and will run through noon Eastern time on Saturday. At that point, we'll draw the winners. They'll be notified by email, and we will also announce the winners on our show next week, episode 11. And at that point, the winners will have 24 hours to claim their prize. So good luck to everyone. If you want to try this one out without paying for it, click the link down there in the description, and good luck to you all.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to add, if you want to watch gameplay, actually go to the video that Wes did, because you just saw a menu for like 5 minutes. So that was really awesome. So anyway,
Yeah,
I've got I'm sorry, go ahead. No, I was just going to say I've got a full playthrough on my channel for those that are not worried about spoiling any kind of story elements, start to finish, just like everything on my channel. That too is linked in the description.
Okay. Another game that released at the same date, 30th, which was Space Ops. We haven't been able to. I mean, this is a game that we did ask for a key, but we haven't got one. And I've got to be honest, I'm not really that fussed about this one. It looks interesting, but I think it looks too much like a wave shooter from what I've seen. It's released price. I haven't got the US price, because when I check on Steam, it always shows me the UK price. But it's £11.39. Bit of a weird price, but it's on discount at 25% off right now at £8.50. So it's pretty cheap. It's like you can do single player, co-op, multiplayer. It's a shooter. I think it looks a bit like maybe like Gun Heart or Evasion. I don't think there's some sort of story to it. But yeah, we're going to try and get a key probably, or maybe even buy it for next week. But we thought we'd mention that one. Has anyone else got anything they want to say on that before we move on?
I think.
I'll
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Roots.
I was just gonna say, I think it looks badass. That big spider-looking thing. I love Evasion and Gunheart, and it does kind of give me an Evasion kind of vibe. I'm hoping there's a story to it, but even if I'm just running around killing stuff, and the fact that it's co-op, uh, I'm hoping that we can, if it's get some keys and check it out, do a proper review for sure. But anyway,
Yeah, that's all I was going to mention is that I'm feeling very strong evasion and Farpoint vibes from this. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a story-based campaign. This is more of a co-op time trial game. There is some story elements to it, but it's not a proper campaign, from what I understand.
cool.
Okay.
I'd be happy with that. I think it looks cool.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to actually give you some more impressions and maybe next week talk about that one. But I wanted to mention it because obviously it's been released this week. A game that we had announced this week, which is scheduled just as coming soon, is Pixel Ripped sequel 1995. I know the developer said before that they're going to be releasing a game every year now, and they're going to be choosing a different year. So the new year is 1995, and I did actually have a list of some of the games that came out that year. So we've got things like Mega Man, Mortal Kombat 3, Super Bomberman 3, Street Fighter came out, Mech Warrior came out, Command and Conquer. So yeah, there's a few decent games that came out that year. So it's going to be interesting to see with this one what they put in the game, because obviously this is a real nostalgia trip. The first one didn't do anything for me, just because of the year and because of the games that were out of that year. But this one's definitely something that I'm more interested in. So it'll be interesting to see. We don't really know anything about it. We've got no footage, just an announcement, just a year.
This is it right here. This is all we have.
That's all we have, yeah. But I know that a lot of people are definitely hyped for this because obviously it's the first game was well received. I know it was SNES and PS1 era, so that's the sort of graphics and the sort of games we're looking at. Wes, you enjoyed the first one. Are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, basically for the same reasons that I enjoyed the first one, the novelty of it, the nostalgia factor of it. This was right around the time where I was getting ready to leave high school. So those are the best years of most people's lives. So I look forward to revisiting that time in my past.
Yeah. Were you a gamer at this sort of time, Roots? Did you have a PS1 or a SNES?
Yeah, I was more. I would have been, I think, 21 about then, or 20, 21. So I definitely I had the. I know I had the Super Nintendos. I've always had those. I had the. I think the PlayStation, but I wasn't quite into PC gaming at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing this is going to be more console games because I know there's stuff like Mech Warrior and that was PC and Command and Conquer. So I'm guessing it's going to be more like Bomberman and Street Fighter and things like that are going to be inspired by it. It's going to be interesting to see what they do because the first one was kind of all focused on this little Game Boy game, really. So is this going to cross genres to different types of gameplay, or is it just going to be similar to the first one where it's just going to be all one game, the same gameplay loop the whole way through? But yeah, it'll be interesting. But like I say, we don't know anything about it really. The first game came out last year. Was it July? Did you say, Wes?
Yeah. I think it was originally scheduled for late May, but got pushed back to early July.
So yeah, if based on what they've said, one a year, we're predicting probably around that time. Maybe 2-3 months time. But it'll be probably summer. Another game for the summer release schedule. So it's going to be a busy summer. Another game that got announced, which I know, Roots, you were kind of wanting to talk about this one a little bit, but I've got to be completely honest. I have zero interest in this game. Garden of the Sea, which the only reason really I think anyone's going to pay any attention to it was because it's made by Neat Corp, who made Budget Cuts, and I was very mixed on Budget Cuts. I wasn't one of those that was early to the vibe and was all up on the demo, the Budget Cuts demo. So when the game came, the teleportation movement and everything felt a bit restricted for me. Roos, what did you want to say on this one? Because I know you were kind of interested in it.
No, I was just saying that it definitely was worth mentioning just because it is by the developers of budget cuts. I don't know. I mean, we're not given very much. It looks like you can plant. Maybe you get to pet a cow and do some stuff. I don't know too much about it. I'm just curious to see what the hell this is. Because right now I've got a lot of things going around in my head. So.
Yeah, they've said that I think because we've got the upload E3 VR kind of thing that they're doing alongside E3, and they have confirmed. I think it's on the 10th of June. I think they have confirmed that there's going to be more information revealed then. So we'll find out more then. That's in a couple of weeks. We're going to find out. Hopefully, have some more VR stuff coming and releasing because obviously E3 is coming up. I know Oculus are going to be there, so I expect we'll see more from the big games like Defector and things like that as well. They've actually been teasing a lot of Defector stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen on Oculus. They've been putting a lot of little GIFs up and stuff. So that's definitely one of the first one that's going to be coming out of the big ones they're releasing. So I've got a feeling they've said summer for that one again, but I've got a feeling that'll come sooner rather than later. I think we'll see that maybe end of next month personally, but yeah, that's something we'll hopefully next couple of weeks we'll find out more information on that one. Now we've had a few games which have had updates, which we're going to mention. Not really a lot to say on these. We've got Jupiter and Mars, which I know Wes loves this game, loves it. Yeah, this has now got a PS4 Pro patch, which obviously improves. It does annoy me a little bit. I don't know if you guys feel the same, where they've released these games and they don't have the patch there. I personally think they should be there ready on launch, because if you buy the game, you play the game, and then they bring by the time they bring the patch out, are you going to play through it again? Not really. So that's something that I feel like the developers should be bringing it out with both. If they're going to patch it with the Pro in mind, it should be on release personally. Roots, did you try the update, or have you not had a chance to try it?
Oh, I did. I tried it this morning. I mean, I don't have a Pro. Is it Pro only? I thought it was for because it did seem like it was more clear for me as well. So I don't know.
Maybe that was placebo then, because it's as far as I'm aware, anyway. I think Wes, you mentioned that the OG PS4 is just a non-VR mode that's had some like graphical updates, but the VR mode is just the Pro update. So. Yeah, that's. I think that was placebo for you.
Are they? Which is interesting, actually. So, are they planning on giving us update as well? Do you know, Wes, or is it us slumming it? People slumming it with the OG. We're pretty much screwed.
I don't know. I know that generally things like this, it's an ongoing process, and any good developer will continue to improve their game over time. But with the original patch, which it could have received a second patch. Maybe that's any kind of improvements you perceive may have been another patch. But the original patch that I read the release notes from said that it was a PSVR update for the PS Pro. And then on the OG PS4, it was just a non-VR, slightly upgraded graphics.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of glad I went into it then. And I'm kind of hoping it wasn't, because when I went in there today, I literally was thinking that it's been so long since I tried it. Would I notice the difference? The answer clearly is no. But now that I've gone in it, if they do release it in some form or fashion quickly, because I'm not going to probably play it again until they do, maybe I'll be able to tell the difference. So.
Okay. Let's move on to another updated game, Space Junkies. It's good that they're updating it, because obviously we've had issues with the price and they've tried to drop the price. Have they changed the price permanently now, or was that just a sale? Do we know?
That was just a sale.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they've got 2 new maps. They've got a new mode, Insta Blast gameplay mode, new weapons, and they've also given it 3D rudder support, which I'm hearing very mixed reports on this 3D rudder. So yeah, that'd be, but it could be a good game for 3D rudder if you've got the moves and be able to use 2 hands. So, anyone got anything they want to say on that?
Yeah, I somehow didn't see that on there, so we're getting the look at us a little bit closer because there's no
Oh, don't
downloaded
worry about
trailer.
that. Don't worry, that's fine.
So
Yep, next one is we've got Borderlands 2 VR, which is obviously the PlayStation VR, is getting some DLC. We heard about this when they announced I keep saying Borderlands 2, 3. But I believe, Roots, you have some information about they're bringing out another, like a new DLC. So it's not just the old DLC for VR. There's some new content coming. Is that right?
I thought it was all the uploaded. I know Wes, you were saying something. I don't know any more thing about new content. I know they were releasing all
Oh,
the
Wes,
DLC.
sorry, Wes, do you know about this one?
Yeah, there's rumors out there that during E3 week here next week, that the flat version of Borderlands 2 is going to be receiving a new DLC chapter that bridges the gap between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. The title of it is Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary. And what we're wondering, it has not yet been confirmed for Borderlands 2 VR, but they have said in the past that we're going to be getting all of the DLC from the flat version. So we're kind of wondering, is this going to be included too at launch, or are we going to have to wait for it? So it's kind of still up in the air whether or not we're going to be getting it day one.
Still no news on PC release. Obviously, that was the exclusivity window. I'm sure. I think they said that it was around May time when it was going to drop. So that could be another announcement, maybe in E3, that is coming to PC VR. But again, we've got no confirmation on that one. Another game that's had an update, another big update, is Shadow Legend, which it's had a big update, which has got a completely brand new boss fight, which is something that we're all probably glad about, because the boss fight was definitely, that game just gradually got worse as it got through, in my opinion. It started out great and ended up pretty bad. But yeah, Roots, what did you want to say?
I was just gonna say it's like they rushed it. It's like they
Yeah,
started really detailed, and like I've said it before. I was giddy when I was playing the beginning, just because everything felt so good. And then it just had, I just remember when you were talking in Discord about how, like, suddenly you were outside and you were inside and you were like, what the hell happened? And Justin's
yeah.
he's trying to explain it to you, and it was like, no, dude, it's not. It's like they
No,
skipped something.
yeah. Justin was trying to like say what he thought, why he thought you were outside. But personally, I just thought it just, like, I think, like you said, I think they just rushed it and then maybe they ran out of time and they just kind of, it just didn't feel cohesive. But that's one worth checking out again. I don't think I'm going to go back in and check it out myself, but if you were holding off, maybe finishing the game or you're buying the game, it's a good game. It starts off really great start, the way it starts, and if they've improved the ending, then it's definitely worth picking up. So keep an eye on that for this is the footage there right now. That's what the boss battle was. They're playing Pong with him. Yeah, it was complete and utter crap. But yeah, apparently they've completely new boss fight now, completely different. So at least the devs are active and they're taking it on board and they're improving things. There you go, Pong again. So let's move on to another game, which is Beat Saber. Beat Saber is actually now, we've got confirmation that the next song pack's coming. I think it's confirmed for June the 10th, but we don't know any details on what the song pack is, what songs are going to be included. But yeah, I actually bought a couple of songs on the original Monster Cat song pack, because the good thing about that is that you can buy the full pack or you can buy the individual songs. So if there isn't enough for you to feel like you want to buy the full pack, you can buy the individual songs. Roots, did you get any of the songs on the first pack?
No, that's the thing I was going to ask you, because you said you mentioned it, and I was just instantly curious. I've never even looked into them at all, what the costs are, just because we have so many modded free songs. And to be honest, as soon as Audica came out, I fell in love, and Beat Saber just kind of it's like the X that I kicked to the curb.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see if, like, are the songs worth it, and what are the DLCs? What was the cost of that Monster Cat?
I think it was $10 for the full pack, or you could buy, I think it was 199 maybe for each song. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Okay.
I bought two songs basically because the full pack didn't. It's just the same sort of music as the main one. There were two tracks. There was the main one, the Overkill, which in fact, Wes, you should try that one because that's a pretty. It's got some rock in
You
there,
should
and
try the game.
he has tried it. I think.
Oh,
Has
did you?
No, no, I've watched my family play it for
Oh
hours at
my
this
God.
point, but no, I have not. I've not gotten in it myself.
Oh dear. Yeah,
So,
try it. Try get that one song is Overkill. I think you'd enjoy that one. There's also
Yeah.
a kind of rocky one on the main game. But I can't remember what it's called.
I think
Yeah, I think I've actually know the Overkill song that you're talking about. I think I watched God Cannon play it on
Yeah,
PSVR
yeah.
Underground.
That is a hard song on expert. It took me about four tries to get that one done. But and then there was another one I can't remember what it's called. But there was a couple I liked. So I'm interested to see. They have said that they're going to be bringing out more variety in genres. So I'm interested to see what they come up with.
Alex,
Um,
I feel like we're gonna have to do a proper review of Beat Saber to get Wes to play it. Because and I
I'll
want
review it. I mean, I've got like 80 hours in it now, so
oh,
I'm
you're
good
the
to go.
expert, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I play it 3 4 times a week, so I love it. But the other news with Beat Saber actually is Quest. Well, first of all, someone's cracked the code and managed to get custom songs in the Quest, and then secondly, the developers have said that they're going to actually let you do custom songs with an editor. So you've got custom songs on the Quest either way, whether you do it through the mods or whether you do it. I don't know how it works with this built-in editor. Whether I know they've said that you can make them on the PC and import them across to. How was that? You could put them across to the Quest, but I don't know. I mean, I'd rather just download. I don't want to make songs myself. I'd rather just download ready built ones. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but yeah, it's good news anyway. If you've got a Quest, you've got Beat Saber, that'll sell people on the Quest. I think being able to do that definitely. So because I know it'll be interesting to see. I don't think PSVR is going to get it just because of Sony and music license and things. So yeah, I wonder how many people are going to buy Quest just so they can do custom songs because Beat Saber is awesome, but it's the custom songs for me
Hmm.
that make it what it is. So there's that news there. Anyone else want to add anything on that? No? Okay. So let's start actually talking about some games that we have played. First of all, we had a big game released, one of the biggest PSVR releases of the year, which was Blood and Truth. And I know both Roots and Wes, you both played this. So we'll start with you, Roots. Tell how long have you played it for, and what do you think?
I think I played like an hour. I wanted to play more, but we had so much this week that came out that I felt really up against the wall, and I couldn't pick it up till Friday night, which I did. I picked up the physical copy, and I was saying earlier I almost picked up Trover, and then I thought nah, I'm not getting it on PSVR. But I really was impressed with this game. I know they said that it's more of like you're in a movie and then you're going from node to node. I didn't couple things that I didn't understand, even within the node to node movement, because it felt like I was doing locomotion when I was doing node to node, right? So why not just let me fucking move around? Let me do no. I felt like it was. I literally felt like I was locomoting, just clicking on it and then you move. So just let me move on my own. But outside of that, it was phenomenal. So far, what I've seen, it's just everything the guns, the feel of it, just the way that you reload, and they've made it very easy to operate. A lot of the familiar things in VR where you grab your back for a bigger gun, and I just think it's definitely a well polished title. So
Okay, Wes, how long? You think you did a couple of hours on this, yeah?
Yeah, I played it for about 2 hours last night. Didn't want to stop, by the way. I just had other things, show prep to do. So I had to put it down. But yeah, really impressed with it. Visually, one of the best PSVR titles I've ever seen, if not the most visually impressive. The characters look real, the environments. very close. I say they look real. They don't obviously look picture perfect real, but better than most any other thing I've seen in VR. Um, Definitely a unique title as far as it being cinematic. Uh, I don't think I've ever been in a game with a higher ratio of cutscenes than this. It literally was probably 50-50 for the first part of the game, cutscenes to playable scenes. And then when you get on in the game a little bit, it sways a little bit more in the favor of gameplay, but not much. Maybe 60-40, 70-30 gameplay. Still very heavy cutscene oriented. Even in the parts where you're moving through it with the node-based movement, a lot of it was just cinematic. There wasn't any shooting or fighting or anything. You're just doing reconnaissance work, picking up information. But still very enjoyable just because it's so well done. The story's very good. The actors are well known, world renowned actors. And I was super impressed with it. Load of fun, and I can't wait to get back into it.
Yeah, we will have a full review on that next week. So we'll have Wes and Ruuts are going to do a full in-depth review. They'll have the full game played, and we'll do a spoiler cast at the end. So if anyone's played it and wants to listen to these guys' thoughts and talk about the story in depth a bit more, then definitely check that out. You haven't put some notes in here. There's some DLC coming, which I didn't know about. Why don't you tell us a bit about that?
Oh yeah, the London studios have announced, I think on Twitter or on one of their social feeds, that there's DLC coming for this. They're going to add some things to make it replayable. There's going to be online leaderboards. There's going to be a time attack mode, scoring challenges. There's going to be a new Game Plus mode for those of us who have played through it that want to replay it. And then there's going to be a hard difficulty because it is kind of easy. I died a couple times so far in it, but I wouldn't call it a hard game. So somebody who wants more challenge, don't worry, the hard difficulty level is coming.
That's good that they're adding to it, though. I'm trying to make it more replayable because obviously it's very linear. I mean, the thing's pretty much on rails, so you can't go exploring. You're not really going to spend much time. And I imagine most people are going to spend virtually the same amount of time in this game. Did you play it seated or standing? Did you seated?
Well, I was going to do what Anthony said. The way he played it is he had a chair close, and he was just going to stand up during certain sequences and sit during others. But when you start, it tells you to play seated. It tells you to get in a comfortable seated position and click the buttons so that it can set up the holster position and the ammo position. So I played it mostly seated. I stood up during a couple of the gunfights to get a better angle on my enemy, but 95% of the time I did play this game seated. As far as the node-based locomotion, I agree with what Ruuts said. It does feel like you have control going forward. But what I noticed is as you move forward into the game, there's no going back. As you pass nodes, they disappear. So you can't go backwards. And that may be for a way for them to save resources. You know, they have limited resources in the PS4. If they don't have to render forwards and backwards, that may be some kind of a shortcut they're taking. Smoke and mirrors, I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. But very easy to play this game. Fun for a veteran VR enthusiast like us, but I feel like you could put somebody who's a newcomer into this game, and they could pick it up like that too. Very easy because you don't have locomotion to worry about. It's more of the game takes you and you're just along for the ride. So, yeah.
I didn't like the things on the side, the holsters, because I've got an office chair and it's like really, it makes me want to go grab like a table chair that has no sides to make it easier or to stand. Because I kept feeling like I was constricted when I would try to put my gun in and out of my holster. Uh, I mean, that's not any problem but my own. That's a first world problem, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Well,
actually commented on this during when I was shooting the video for the first episode. I intentionally put the holster on a easy to reach part on the outside of my chair. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You're right. You do get to set it up in the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. That sounds good.
yeah, I know what with Anthony saying that standing up when you're standing up and sitting down. That's something that I really like to do personally, if I can, just because I always feel. But one thing I've noticed with the footage that I've seen, I don't know if this is something that does it automatically crouch you? Like if you walk up to a
Um,
yeah. So
yeah.
like when you walk up to a box, it'll automatically crouch you behind the box. So then that it makes it difficult to stand really with this game, and then sit and I don't know. I just don't, I think you probably are going to be better off just playing seated on this one. I know Justin said that he tried playing standing, and when you do this some climbing areas, and when you climb, he said that because you have your hands up, um, it goes out of the tracking. So then you've got tracking problems. So you're kind of limited with that side of things, standing up, sitting down. So
Let me ask you
um,
this. I know you've been putting off the PlayStation, but this was like your baby. You've been waiting for this game to come out. Does this
this is my
make
number one. Yeah.
Yeah, does this make you feel tempted to pick up a PlayStation VR, or are you still dead set PlayStation 5?
It actually, when I because the whole thing with the seated and the movement, it's made me more want to wait because I feel like this could be one of those that they'd remake. Do you know when the PS, if we had a proper with the power of the PS5 plus the PSVR 2, if you've got full 360 tracking and everything, it might not happen, but I just feel like maybe they would remake this with that tracking in mind and make it more open. I don't know whether they would do that. But I am going to wait. I've decided on that now. Like I said to you, Wes, before, I may pick one up like cheap after the PS5 comes out, but there's not enough games for me. There's like 3, 4 games that I really want to play, and I don't feel like that's enough to spend the five because I'd have to get the Pro. I know people say you don't need the Pro, but you do, in my opinion, if you want the best experience. So.
Well, a person doesn't need the Pro. Alex needs the Pro.
I think if you come from PC, you want the Pro.
Agree.
So that's the thing, and it's going to be difficult for me to go from like if Wes did it the right way around. He came from PSVR to PC, so he was already used to the tracking. He was already used to not being able to rotate and turn his body. Whereas the first thing I'm going to do, because once you're in VR, you forget about things anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn my body and then bump into that tracking situation, and I think I'd just find it a little bit frustrating. So I may get one when the PS5 comes out cheap. I may just wait. I don't know.
There is a sale coming up this week, next week. Was it June 7th? The State of Play or whatever it's called. It's
Yeah,
$50 off on both the console and the headset.
yeah. We'll
So
see. I don't think so, though. I mean, I've dropped it like $1,000 on an index. So I've already spent enough as it is. But I have got some impressions actually. I'll quickly mention Justin, although he's not here in person, he's here in Seoul. So he's left me some thoughts on the game. This was before he finished it. I know he's finished it now, but he's basically. I'm not going to read it word for word because I can't read out loud very well. But his personal thoughts are basically that it's good, but he wasn't super hyped on it. He played it seated. He did try it standing, but he ran into the problems with the tracking. He said there's no sort of turning. I think everything's kind of 180. I'm sure you guys can confirm that. I'm pretty sure there's no need for you to do any sort of snap turn or smooth turn on this one. He didn't think it was as good as people are saying, but I know he's finished it now, and he may have changed his tune a little bit, so we'll have to get his thoughts on that maybe. He prefers gameplay over story, and obviously this is definitely a lot of story, like you've said, Wes, so maybe that's part of the reason why he's not quite as into it. There's lock picking, so you can lock pick, which looks quite cool as well. In fact, I've seen some footage where you've got like tool bag that pops up, and then you can pull your little lock picks out. I think there's like detonators you can put on doors and things like that later on in the game. So there's really cool the way that they've integrated it. It just makes me wish that it was on PC so I could make use of those motion controls and everything. Yeah, they said there's some really cool wow moments. Obviously, there's some very cinematic moments in this game. This is why I love it, I think. Yeah, and then he just said there's some climbing as well, which sometimes feels weird. Like, I don't know if you guys have got to that bit yet, where it says when you go around a corner, the kind of world just feels weird the way it rotates around you. Because I'm guessing when you try and go around a corner, it just kind of just rotates around with you not moving. I don't know if have you seen the climbing elements yet? No.
Not where I'm going around a corner.
Have you, Wes?
Yeah, I've climbed up ladders, and I've climbed through ductwork and vents, but I haven't experienced what you're talking about there yet. So
yeah, I think you said when you go around a corner, it kind of like just the whole thing rotates around, because obviously you can't physically turn your body, so I'm guessing it has to turn the world for you, which probably feels quite weird in VR.
That was pretty cool. The vents, like the way you used your hands to kind of pull you through, it did kind of make you feel like you were climbing through a vent. And I was like looking around thinking, oh my, like I couldn't find where to go. And then I realized, oh shit, I got to go up here. And that was cool. I kind of like the fact that it's more of a story. I feel like they intended it to sit back, relax, enjoy the cinematic experience game and chill and spend 4 or 5 hours. Like they want you to just enjoy and relax. So many games you got to stand or you're uptight, and this one just wants you to chill. And Roots loves to chill, so.
I mean, it's exactly what people wanted. It's London Heist with expanded into a 5-hour campaign. So
yeah.
People can't complain at that, and it's definitely I love story-driven like linear games. I mean, The Last of Us and Uncharted games are my favorite type of games. So this looks like I've said many times. This is my game. This is the one that I want, but I won't get to play it for a while. So that I am jealous of that. But unless anyone else has got anything to say, we'll move on to the next game. Nope. Okay, so we've got another game which released on PSVR, and I didn't realize this, but it also came out on PC. I presumed for some reason I thought it was an exclusive. We've got Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted, and Roots. You've played this. I think Wes, you might have some thoughts on this as well. But we'll start with Roots. What did you think to this?
I thought it was really cool. I never played the original, but I know my kids played it, and I had heard all the hype and. It's creepy. Like I've only played for maybe a half an hour or so and just kind of dipped my toe in it, and hopefully we'll play more and do a proper review. But I felt really freaked out, and I felt like some really impeding creep moments. It's a lot of jump scares. It definitely, I think they've done it very well. So
yeah, I've read this quite short. I don't think there's a lot to this game. Did you get an idea of how many? Like, is there certain levels? Is it you progress through levels, or how does it work?
Well, there's at least there's different Five Nights at Freddy's, like the different versions. There's actually quite a bit. At least in the first one that I've done, there was I think 4 or 5 nights you had to survive, and then they had different modes you could do on top of it, and then there was some kind of switch you could flip that would change things, made it look different, and and then there was extra question marks, so it looked like added content, and that was just the one Five Nights at Freddy's 1, but it had 2, 3, and then something else. There was like 4 or 5 different things you could choose. So it definitely, if there was a couple things working against me, obviously, like I said, there was a lot of shit coming out, trying to get into them all and then show prep. But, and again, I didn't pick this one up again until Friday just because I couldn't pick anything up. But, the first night creeped me the fuck out. I didn't want to go back into it. And I need to go back into it to justify spending the money on it. But yeah, that tells me the immersion level was definitely there for sure.
Yeah, Wes, I know your son is a massive Five Nights at Freddy's fan, and he's been in this. Has he been screaming? Have you been hearing screaming every time something jumps out of him?
No, but you could definitely tell that his nerves, he was on end. You could see him bracing for it when he knew it was coming. Uh, this actually has quite a bit of content in it. It has straight ports of all the original Five Nights at Freddy's games, and then there's extra bonus activities you can do too, where you're working on the animatronics and other things like that to earn collectibles in the game, and you actually go into the prize booth and get your prizes and whatnot. But I watched Brody play for an hour or two, play this game, and looks like there's a lot to it. Definitely looks like it would be creepy in VR with these animatronics when they get right up on you. But it's not like a type of game where you move through levels. The whole thing's spent in the security guard room, and you're working the monitors, trying to keep your eye on where all of the animatronics are, and trying not to lose them, because if you lose them, they're coming to get you. That's the concept of the game. Uh, but no, he definitely seemed like he didn't, scream out loud or anything, but I saw him bracing for it more than once. And yeah, creep factor definitely up there. If you're the type of player who is affected by jump scares and that sort of thing, this is probably going to be one that's going to get you.
Alex.
Yeah. Well, this looks like jump scare hell to me, so I don't think I'll ever be able to check this one out. But yeah, that's so we've got some impressions on that one. I'm sure you'll probably have a chance to jump in next week, maybe on that one, Wes, and give us some of your hands-on approach. Or you're not really that bothered about it.
I'll jump in it just to check it out. I don't see myself. This is a lot of game. It's a lot of content. I'll probably jump in and look at it. I wouldn't. I probably won't be unlocking a whole lot of the lock stuff in it, but I can get a feel of the gameplay, graphics, sound, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll move on to another game that released, Assetto Corsa Competizione, that released into full release because it was early access. It came out on Wednesday last week, and I've tried it, but unfortunately, I tried it when it a couple of months after, like a couple of updates when the VR support got added, and it was pretty unplayable for me. I've tried it with the full release, and it's definitely more playable, but it's still not playable for VR. Or for flat, it's apparently really good, but performance was pretty poor. You could do like a hot lap on your own, but as soon as you add more cars, frames were tanked, and you were in ASW all the time. But the main problem with this is it's blurry. I don't understand. I think it's something to do with I think it uses TXA a anti-aliasing, and it's an Unreal 4 engine. From what I can understand, it's a non-deferred or deferred engine. I don't fully understand it, but I've read people say that it's the type of engine it is. But the thing is that we've all played Unreal Engine games in VR, which look so crisp and clear. So I don't think it's the game engine. I think it's just the developers. They've moved to Unreal. They're probably still getting to grips with it, and I just don't think they know how to optimize it and get it looking good in VR. So for now, I'd say give it a miss. From all accounts, the game is good, the way it feels and drives and looks and flat, but unfortunately, it's just not ready for VR right now. So yeah, I thought I'd just let people know. Keep an eye on it. I'll check. I mean, I own the game. I want to play it, so I'll be keeping an eye on any updates that it gets. And if it gets updated to a point where I think it's ready to be played in VR, I'll let you guys know, and hopefully people can buy it. Okay, so we've got a last little segment, which is something we've been trying to talk about for a couple of weeks now, but we're finally going to get around to talking about it. This is the lo-fi tech demo. We talked about Technolust a couple of weeks ago, which was an old 2016 game by I can't remember the name of the developer. Wes, you'll know this.
It's Iris Virtual Reality and Blair Raynaud.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy made with a few other people made this game, We talked about it on the previous episode. We don't need to recover that, but he's also made this tech demo, which is called Lo-Fi, which is apparently it's not a sequel, but it's based in the same universe, and he's looking at trying to bring it to Kickstarter. So we had a play about with this. I mean, it's worth saying that it's not a game right now. It's a pre-alpha sort of tech demo. So I'm not going to try and talk too much trash on it. But I mean, the first thing I'll say is it looks great. I mean, beautiful visuals. It's a step up over Technolust, in my opinion. Just a lighting. There's a lot of volumetric lighting with the way that they've got like mist and lights shining through it, and there is some film grain on there, which I really don't want. I mean, it adds more blur to things. You were trying to get these screens that get rid of it and give you clarity, and then they're adding that on. I know it's a stylistic thing. If the guy wants to put it in there, that's fine, but at least give us the option to turn it off, in my opinion. Basically, what you're doing you'll see from the footage, you're in not a spaceship, like the aircraft demo. You're in like a hover car, and you're flying around a city. You can fly around using the joysticks on your touch controllers. This is only available on Oculus at the moment. People can't get access to that. I should stress that. We've had early access to it, but it's not available for anyone to play right now. You can fly around like an air car. The city looks really cool. There's like billboards, old Atari signs, and all sorts of stuff in there. Looks really good. There's some cool sound effects, thunder in the background. You've got raindrops on the windscreen. Graphically, it looks great. And then you've got these little points on your map. So you've got a map in the center, and you can just go to these little docking stations. And you can press a button and it automatically docks you down. And then once you've docked, it'll load up a scene. So you're like, if you land on top of the police station, you then end up inside the police station. And there's robots walking around, and little hover police things and droids and stuff. It all looks really cool, but ultimately right now, there's no game there. It's very much just like you're going through these Unity. It's been made in Unity, and basically just these little scenes that have been created, and you can go in there. There's no real interactivity. You have a torch, you have a gun, but the gun doesn't really do anything. So the main thing I would say at the moment, if the devs do listen to this, is that we need to see like a snippet, like a vertical slice of what you want this to be, and then I'd say release that out with the Kickstarter and then get people to try it. And I think because it's so freaking cool, this world's so cool, it's nothing we've seen anywhere in VR other than Technolust. And I'm pretty sure if you can make something that's a real game, a good game, that this thing's going to sell really well. So my advice would be, show us what it is. Show us what you want the final vision to be. Give us a section of the game that feels complete with the full interactions where you can pick things up, open doors, walk through rooms rather than... It's still the same thing as Technolust where you click on something and it loads a scene up rather than you opening a door and walking in. So I'll pass this to you, Wes. What did you think to this?
Very much reminiscent of Technolust. Only as good as Technolust looked, this looks way better. It's obviously this guy's had a few years now of experience, and he's coming in and he knows what he's doing from a graphical design perspective. The world, super cool. Obviously the same world from Technolust. There's actually a couple of the same locations that you can find if you look hard enough in it. And like you said, from a visual perspective, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But with it being a pre-alpha version of it, obviously not a whole lot here beyond the look of it. You do get to drive around the air car, and I did find that cool. A lot cooler than in Technolust. The way you traveled in Technolust is by going to these phone booths and just clicking points on a map. In this game, you get to physically drive around the skies of the city, which creates some really breathtaking views of this very futuristic version of Toronto. But yeah, the way you move through the overworld in this game And the fact that they put a gun in your hand, even if the gun isn't doing anything other than making noise right now, it does lead me to believe that he does have some sort of gameplay mechanic in mind for this. Whereas Technolust was more of a interactive story. I'm hoping, like you, that this has more of a game feel to it. Some objectives. Hopefully, there are things that some kind of conflict you can come into, and if something you can fail at and die. But I don't know that. That's just speculation. That's the way it's looking. But again, this is very, very early in the build process of this. He has stated before that whenever he gets his Kickstarter up, that he's going to bring help in, and that's when we'll really start to see some progress being made on this. But visually impressive. I'm definitely intrigued. As you were saying, this is one of the most unique universes and experiences in VR, and I really hope that we get to see it come to fruition.
Yeah, Ruuts, did you got a chance to try this as well?
Yeah, I agree with everything you both of you said. I just thought, like, I was after Technolust. It was cool, but I just was thinking it was going to be the same. But I was actually like, wow, this is cool. There wasn't a place that I went to, that I flew to and went, that I didn't want to see more. Like going to the Red Pill, and I wanted to go in. I wanted to look around and do and interact with stuff. And so it gives me a lot of hope. I do want to see this turned into even an interactive story. If it's got a cool story and I get to see more of this cool world, I definitely am behind it. And I agree with you, Wes. Give us a snippet, or give people a snippet of what your intentions are, and then release the Kickstarter, and people, I guarantee, will jump on this. It looks night and day better than Technolust, and Technolust was good. This is just better, and it gives me hope to see what they're going to do with it. So,
yeah, I just want to say that what you were saying about places like the Red Pill and how you wanted to see more. If you go to the Red Pill, and I couldn't go in the Red Pill. Maybe it was a glitch, or maybe it's just not finished yet. I couldn't go into the Red Pill, but if you walk up the street, there's this hotel. It's right there, called Azrael. If you walk in that place, that's my favorite place in the game. It is so cool. It's this very old, rundown looking hotel, but it's a pretty big environment. You can go upstairs and explore quite a bit of it. So if you go back into it, walk up the street and check that place out. It was really cool looking.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I am going to go back into it. One thing that I do hope, and I mean, obviously, like you said, it's pre-alpha even, but I know in Technolust was kind of the same way. Like, we need to know what the hell we're doing. Like, I can't. I sat for like 15 minutes trying to figure out how to land my air car, and didn't see that flashing button off to the side. Granted, pre-alpha, I don't expect a tutorial, but I'm just hoping that there'll be some very clear directions on, this is what you do, this is how you fly the air car, this is how, for the idiot Roots out there that doesn't know what the hell is going on. So
yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously it's pre-alpha, so we can't really, it's not designed for consumer.
No, man.
Obviously we got early access to it. I mean, it's just things like being in the cockpit. It'd be nice if you could have the option to actually physically grab the joystick rather than using your sticks and move that around, or flick switches. And it just felt like even because when you land, you can press a button and it turns the song on, but like when you press it, there's just no. They need, like, because you can get plugins and things for Unity which give you like full inverse kinematics and all sorts of things, where physics-based interactions with things, and it needs that sort of thing added into it, because right now you feel like more like you're just a camera, that you're just controlling a camera through the world rather than being a person. So yeah, I mean, as cool as everything looks, obviously the visuals only go so far, so it definitely needs interactions, more of a game added to it. But we've already said that, so I'm sure the devs already knows this. But yeah, that would be my advice on this. Looks amazing though. Like visually, you've got it spot on. I don't think you need to change anything visually. The only thing I will say is just give us the option to drop the film grain. For me personally, I want things to look clear and sharp, and having that fuzzy sort of film grain on top of your screen door effect that we've already got, it's like doubling up. So yeah, give us the option to turn that off. But other than that, yeah, it's great. Hopefully we'll see what this has in store in the future. Did he give any indication to you as when he's looking at getting this to Kickstarter, or is it just a case of as and when he can get it ready, sort of thing?
Initially, the plan was, or at least I got the notion that he wanted to get it up by the end of the summer. But really, he wants to have something good for backers. He wants to have something good and playable for people who back the Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. So I imagine he's going to keep plugging away on this thing until he's satisfied with his demo. And then whenever that happens, he's going to open the Kickstarter. Something else I wanted to mention that I forgot to a moment ago is that the audio in this, the soundtrack, just as awesome as Technolust, maybe even some of the same tracks, certainly some of the same artists, but the songs are cool. I enjoyed them, and I'm not much on this electronica type music, but definitely enjoying the songs in this. Whoever this girl is that sings for this group has a wonderful voice. I'd like to hear more from her. And yeah, definitely awesome. And again, while I'm talking here, Blair Renaud, the developer of this game, has been super cool to me and super cool to us. And I just again want to express my appreciation to him for being so open to us and allowing us access to this obvious, very early version of his next project. Really, really appreciate it. You've been super cool.
Definitely. That's yeah. Thank you. And obviously, he gave us free access to Technolust as well, which we got to play. And I did enjoy Technolust. So it's just this didn't feel like it was in the way that you interact with the world. It didn't feel like a step on from Technolust. And I think that's what he needs to be working on now. I think you've got the visuals sorted. I think he needs to just more be focused. Take what you've got now and just make more of a game out of it and focus on the gameplay side of it now more. But yeah, I think we've said enough on that. So we'll probably leave it there for this week. We were going to do some Wolves in the Walls spoilers from last week, but we'll maybe have to save it for next week because we're running short on time. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Don't worry, we are going to still talk about all the games. Like last week, we're going to do them on a review format. So we've got hopefully 4 games that are going to be coming out. We'll probably release one review with this video on Monday, and then we'll put the others out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you're going to have more game talk. The good thing about the reviews is that obviously it helps the channel because more people will find us. It helps us grow faster. But also it means we can go into more depth about the games, go into spoilers at the end. So I personally think it's the right choice to do it. We're interested in your feedback, but I personally enjoy being able to go into more depth on the reviews and go spoilers as well. But we've got 4 games. We'll not say what they are. We'll just let them pop up and you can just have a look at them. Anyone else want to say anything before we leave this week?
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously click the like button, subscribe, click on the bell for notifications. And we did just add a link to our Discord channel that we just created.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
So definitely come check it out. We are interested in all of your advice on everything, and we are going to put something that's kind of cool in our Discord that will give you guys the opportunity to suggest some games that maybe you want to hear a review on, and then we'll discuss amongst ourselves which ones we can do and stuff. But I'm kind of excited about that as well because it's cool. Go on.
I was going to say we know we're quite young. Like obviously we only got 300 odd subscribers, but we want to start a community now because we really want to integrate the community into our channel and have you guys kind of help us drive the content, decide what games to review. We've got some ideas for some top 10, top 20 lists, and we want you to give your lists, and so we can get like a community list, like top 10 puzzle games or top 20 free games. You give us your list and we can combine them all together. And we may even in the future, like if there's some games that we like, we maybe say Elite Dangerous, we don't care about that game. I know I don't. Maybe get you guys to make a review, and we'll do a review with you guys and get the community involved in that. So we definitely want to get you guys involved. The Discord's there in the link. There's not really much there, but we are going to be in there, and we'll talk about some stuff. And if you guys got any ideas for the show, you know, we're really keen to get your input on that. So yeah, so this has been the 10th episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's sad to see Justin go.
Yeah. I just wanted a couple of things I wanted to say here. First of all, since you brought it up, Justin, he's still around, guys. He's not gone anywhere. He's just not able to participate in creating the content with us anymore. But we still talk to him all day, every day, get his input on these games. And he's still around. You guys can still talk to him in the comments, in the Discords. He's still very much a part of our family, but he has personal things going on. It's making it more and more difficult for him to do this with us. So he just decided to step back. Second thing I want to mention is just to remind you all, Freediver Triton Down is a wonderful game. And if you want your own copy, click the link in the description below and enter the contest. And next week you could be playing it.
That's right.
Yeah, and check out the review as well if you're interested. We've got a full 22 minutes in-depth review where we go into more detail on that. And yeah, we all recommend it. We think it's worth the price. And I personally think if you don't like short experiences, we did say it's a game, but if you don't like the shorter side of games, then obviously it's not going to be for you. But if you're interested in something really unique, interesting, really cool, AAA quality with some really intuitive, interesting locomotion controls, definitely check that out. And yeah, I think anyone else got anything to add?
I think you're honestly missing out if you don't try that Freediver. It was just such a cool experience, something so different than anything I've played. And I've played a lot, so that's just my personal opinion.
It's like an interactive short movie. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's just, you know, it's very linear, but it's very cool, very highly polished. Yeah, check it out. Check the review out if you want more information on that. Go for the keys, because obviously we've got that giveaway, and check out the Discord. And yeah, we've got a lot going on right now. And yeah, we'll check in on you guys next week. Oh, and keep an eye out for the reviews as well. So
yep, cool.
Okay.
All right. See you later.
Later.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.